leaves are turned.
Hey guys, it's been a while since my last video and a lot has happened since then. So in this video, we are going to start my fall decorating, but I also wanted to give you an update on things that have been going on, where I've been, and all of that. If you're just interested in the decorating, I'll put a timestamp so you can fast forward. But when we left off, I believe it was in February, we were in the process of simplifying. I was on a mission to simplify my house, and I had been really working hard on that and made quite a bit of progress. And then we were also doing some home projects. So I think we had just had our fireplace redone, and we were having the light fixtures upstairs all redone. And I think we were still in the process of that. So I had showed you a little bit of it, but not all of it. So since then, we have done quite a few more home projects, and we had the light fixtures are finished now, and I've done some other things. So I wanted to give you an update on all of the things that we've been doing since the last video. And then I also wanted to just share with you why I have gone so long without filming. If you've been following for a while, you know that I have experienced some chronic pain over my adult life. And it's been a number of different things, but most recently it's involved my feet and my ankles. And it had gotten to a point where it was getting pretty severe, and I would have moments where I would do things and then for a while afterwards I wouldn't be able to walk. And that's what happened after I made the video where I simplified 100 items in 2 days. I had been going at it for a while, and I think it just got to be a little bit more than I should have done at the time. And I got to a point where it was hurting so bad and swollen and everything, and I just couldn't walk for a while. I have spent the last several months working on things. I think I'm finally making some progress. I'm not ready to talk a lot about exactly what I've done in making progress yet, because I want to make sure that I'm really moving in the right direction before I talk about it. But I do feel like I am, and I'm ready to get back to it. At this time last year, we were moving into this house like exactly a year ago. And so now I'm just so excited to actually be able to decorate for fall this year, because last year I wasn't up to it, and we have done so much on the house. I knew you would see a couple of the things in this video, and that's why I definitely wanted to do this part and get you caught up a little bit. We left off on the simplifying portion, and then we were also doing these house projects. The fireplace had just gotten done, and we still love it. We're very excited that we chose that as our first project. And then the light fixtures, I feel like that also helped make the house feel like our own. And we're wanting this to feel like a mountain house. So there were certain things that when we moved in, it just felt like a suburban house. And we knew that since we were actually living in the mountains, we wanted it to have that mountain feel. So we knew we were gonna do the stone fireplace. We knew we would change things like light fixtures. But we also knew that there were major projects that needed to get done. And when we did those projects, we wanted to make sure that we were doing things that would help make the house feel more like a mountain home. After getting all of the light fixtures hung, our next big project was to tackle some of the windows. We knew when we bought the house that there was some damage to some of the windows. Some seals were broken. It was an eyesore, and the fact that they just weren't working the way that they should have been working. So we knew that the front door needed to be changed, and then several windows needed. We did all of our diligent research, and then we finally found a company that we wanted to go with. And so we ended up going with Infinity by Marvin. We were so pleased with everything that they did. We were able to get our front picture window changed. That's right next to the front door. We got the bathroom picture window changed in the master bath. And then we also replaced our front doors. The front doors was the one that definitely was gonna have the biggest impact on the house, because that's where we got to change up the doors completely. We went from a single door with side lights and a transom to these beautiful double doors that definitely fit more the style of the house. And we knew we wanted to go with a wood tone versus a painted door for this one because, again, it would make it feel more like the mountain home that we want it to feel like. So we've got that done. That was a huge project that we were able to get done. And we feel like that ended up making one of the biggest impacts on the look and feel of the house from the interior and the exterior. So we're really excited about how that turned out. Another project that we were working on was in the master bedroom. We knew that I needed to change the bedding because we had decided to keep the drapes in that room, and the drapes in my bedding that I had kind of clashed with each other, or at least they didn't work the best that I thought they could. So I ended up changing the bedding in the master bedroom, and again, we are so happy with how that turned out. That'll just be the bedding that I use year round, and I might make little changes here for different seasons, but for the most part, I plan on this is my bedding year round with a little bit of seasonal changes here and there. I feel like that makes that room start really coming together and feeling like we want it to feel. And in the meantime, we were still doing other things to just get settled in the house. We've continued to hang artwork. That was one of the things that really makes the house feel like a home to us. Whitney did that, and then he's done quite a few other little projects around the house, which I'll show you glimpses of those. And at some point, I might talk in more detail if y'all want about some of these projects. Just let me know if you would like that. But for now, I'm just kind of trying to give you a quick overview of the things that we've done. So the next big project that we needed to do, because it was driving me crazy, was the media room. The rug that we had in the media room was just too small, and I didn't feel like it was working, and the ottoman that we had in there was from our last house, and both of those were just too small and things that we already had. And so our next project was to find an ottoman that would be big enough, because we go in there and watch TV with both of the dogs, and they get on the ottoman, we sit on the couch, and then they're on the ottoman and then kind of get on our laps. So we wanted an ottoman that would be big enough for that. And one, I wanted it to be leather because I wanted to make sure that it would last and it would stand up to the dogs. So I didn't want fabric that their hair was always sticking in and things like that. So I looked around and I found an ottoman that we loved, and then we found a rug that we liked. And so the next step was getting those. And when those came in, I was so happy with how that ended up making that room feel. It is a much more comfortable room now that we've gotten that little project done. It's been kind of a hodgepodge of different projects and things. We've done things here and there, but it feels like it's all starting to come together. And sometimes when I look back and I think it was a year ago that we moved into this house, on one hand it feels like forever, and on the other hand it feels like yesterday. And then it also feels sometimes like we haven't done that much. And then when I look back and think it's only been a year, I feel like we've actually done so much. There's just still a lot left that we want to do to really make this home our own. Since this is our retirement home, we are really wanting to do the projects and do all the different things that are necessary to make us really comfortable in this house and make it feel like us. In addition to all of that, we have been getting to know people in the neighborhood. We've been getting involved in activities in the neighborhood. We've done things for 4th of July, and summer is a big deal in the neighborhood. So we took part in a lot of different things, just exploring the area in the neighborhood, outside of the neighborhood. We've already had some company come and stay with us. So lots of different things going on. And we have just been enjoying every minute that we're here. Now that it is fall, and fall hit early here. Last year when we moved at this time, it was way hotter than what it is now. It's actually cool right now. The leaves are already falling, they're changing. It's definitely fall right now. Even though it's kind of warmed up a little bit from what it had been, we're definitely experiencing an early fall. I couldn't wait to get started on my fall decorating, and I'm really excited to share that with y'all today. I started decorating for fall and I'm still in the planning stages, but I've got some things going that I really am liking so far. So some things I've done over here, but like you can see, it's still a work in progress. And I've done just a few things that, like I said, I'm playing around with. I'm not sure if anything is gonna remain the way that it is, but I've pulled some things from my boxes because a year ago at this time, in fact, this very week last year, the movers came. We had just moved in the house. And so I've started working on this tablescape, and I'll tell you about it. And all the decorating you've seen so far is simply things that I've done from boxes that I had easily available because my storeroom was a mess. I went down in the storeroom the other day and started unboxing some things and moving things around so that I could get to my fall decor. So I've got a little more available to me now. There's still some things I haven't found yet. I've purchased a few things. So I'm just really excited to get going. I had not done a tablescape since Christmas, I think. No, actually New Year's. I did one for New Year's, and so I only did a Christmas tablescape and a New Year's tablescape so far in this house. So I've been dying to do another tablescape, and it is time. So I went thrifting the other day and I found these plates. These are Pottery Barn, and I thought they were just gorgeous. And when I saw them, I thought, what a beautiful fall table this would make. So there's 4 plates, they're all different. And I was thinking at the time, it was a few weeks ago, and I was actually thinking like end of summer, early fall. Well, now we're definitely into early fall. Today's September 19th as I'm filming this. So I think that I'm gonna go ahead and do a fall tablescape. So I pulled a bunch of things. I already was working on my place settings. I've been working quite a bit on trying to figure out what the place settings are. Usually I start with my centerpiece, but this time I decided maybe I would just keep the centerpiece simple and let the rest of the table shine. I may do more because I wasn't ready a few weeks ago to add pumpkins, but since I'm only getting to this now, I am ready to add pumpkins. So I'll probably do a little more on the centerpiece, but I am gonna start with my place settings. At the same time that I picked up these plates, I found these placemats and I thought they were gorgeous. So I'm gonna be using these and mixing and matching because there were only 4 of each. So I got 4 of the green and 4 of the burnt orange color. And I think that this is gonna make a beautiful tablescape. So I'm gonna go ahead and play with my place settings. Like I said, I've already been doing it, so I kind of know what I'm doing. Pretty much what you see is what I'm gonna be doing with my place settings. So I wanna take everything off the table, get it set, and then once I have the place settings done, I'll start thinking about exactly what I wanna do for the centerpiece. Before I get started on the table, I came to check on Lily. She's out here, like always. Y'all, it's starting to change. The leaves, you can't see on this side so much, but this tree over here is starting to change and it is so beautiful. So Lily looks like she's okay. I'm gonna leave her out here for a while. She loves it out here. I'm gonna go inside with Lacey. Lacey actually went in the crate a little while ago. There's Lacey. She went in Lily's crate. Sometimes she likes to do that. I didn't want to bother her, but I really did want to show you. They like to go in each other's crates. You gonna help mommy with the table? Are you gonna do it? You gonna be a good girl and help? I know, you're a good helper, Lacey. You're a good helper. Was done for summer. Of course, the table cleared off and the chairs pulled out, ready to go. But I just wanted you to see, because I will be changing out these florals and those florals. I'm not sure what else I'll do in here besides the table. And then over here, we have this little area that I will definitely be doing something with as well. And this is what it was like for summer. I bought these mustard table runners a couple of years ago, and I used it for an end of summer tablescape where I did the table with lemons and limes, and it was beautiful. With the plates that I just purchased, I would have used these mustard table runners either way, whether I was doing it more a couple of weeks ago for end of summer and wanted to like brighten everything up, or whether I wanted to do it for fall. And I can either go bright or I can do some things to subdue it and kind of tone it down a little bit for fall. So I love these because they're versatile and they definitely would work with multiple seasons. It's not just for fall. I love these placemats that I found. I like that I can mix the colors. And also I like the green because I do think it brightens everything up, where the rust color kind of tones everything down. So I think that it's gonna end up coming together. I wanted to pull in all of the colors that are in the plates and then also kind of in my room. I always knew that I wanted to use my wicker chargers for this tablescape because I wanted to bring some texture to the table, whether it was for late summer or early fall. These are some of my favorite chargers because I can use them for just about any season and they're always gonna add that beautiful texture to a table. Got the plates on the table, but I think I'm gonna move some things around. So I love the Pottery Barn plates. They are so gorgeous. I decided to go with these blue plates because I just felt like the darker blue would ground everything and it kind of tones down some of the brighter colors. It also pulls the blues that I have in the room. So I think that I like this. I did try, and I might bring it up and show you, they're downstairs right now, but I tried some other plates for the base plate, but I ended up liking the blue the best. I feel like it tied everything together, including the colors in the plates. The one that's throwing me off is this one because it has so much white in the background. To me, this looks more summery, where the other three plates look more like fall. So I'm not sure. Lacey's up to no good. I'm sorry. Let's go see. Lacey, no. She's always trying to get stuff. So I have this. She loves towels. Y'all know she loves towels. So I got to move everything out of the way. If I have napkins on the table, which I will put them for the tablescape, but I'll probably have to take them off because she's going to get them if they're available. I like the other three plates a lot. They give me that fall vibe that I'm going for. I'm not sure about this one. I think I could make it work, but I'm not sure. I'm thinking what I might do is, instead of doing the 4 and the 2, so this is a stoneware plate that I absolutely love. I got it a few years ago and I thought that it would work with the colors in these other plates. I like the way it pulls from all of that and it works with the blue base plate, but I am gonna cover up this white. I have some ideas for that, so I will do that. But I'm thinking that what I may do, instead of doing this 4 and 2 pattern, I may do a 3 and 3 pattern and go get another one of these plates and then do 3 and 3 and then take this plate out of the mix. So we'll see. I'm gonna play with it and we'll see what we end up coming up with. These are the options that I have for toning down these stoneware plates and kind of tying in the colors from the other plates. I have this pumpkin plate, which I think is super cute, and it pulls the colors in and of course tones the white down and makes it look more like fall. But I'm not sure I wanted to go pumpkin. So I have this plate, which I love the gold background of it. So I thought I could use that one. The only thing, I really like it, but it kind of covers up a lot of this salad plate, and I don't like that because I want to see that color a lot, even though I think it's very pretty. And then I have these plates, which definitely tones it down. I don't know though, because you still see through, and this is more flat, where the others I think had some raised and had a little texture that I liked versus just this flatness of this one. So I'm going to use one of these. I'm not sure which, but most likely I will use one of these instead of having this just be so bright and white in the center. Are you going to wait here while I go down to get some more plates? You going to wait here? You'll be a good girl? You promise? Okay.
Only way I'm getting by when it's at the time. Why I got my demons on the shelf, like the trophies I can carry with me through the years. Yeah, I'm too sick of myself. I'm too sick of myself. Does someone have another month to spare? Make it make sense for someone who needs help. Yeah, I'm asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend who has gone off the deep end. I know it's late, but we said we would meet here. Why don't you come down? One little sip of air would do you good, and you better believe it. You've been shut indoors for no reason. I could use a friend right now.
At least for now, I decided to go with the pumpkin plates. I do like the texture that it adds, and it really does cover up the white. So I think the tone works much better. And I did go 3 and 3. So I have the 3 Pottery Barn plates that I did here, and then the other 3 stoneware plates that I did here. And then I brought up these napkin rings because I'm thinking of using them. And then I ended up bringing up this gray flatware because I think that will look beautiful with these place settings.
Heart on each side, only reflections apart.
I brought in my hurricane vases. I do think I'm going to use them, and I want to do some type of floral in the center, but I think I want to hold off. This was just me playing at first. I'm not sure if it'll end up being like this, but you can't see it from here. This floral in the corner back here, I want to change that out first because I want to make sure that whatever I do in the center works with what I do back here. So I'm going to go get the florals and change that out before I work anymore on the table. So far, I'm liking how the table's coming out. I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing on the centerpiece, so we'll see how it ends up. That's just part of the fun of it, is just kind of putting it together. Like, I knew what I wanted for the place settings, and I'm just gonna go from there and see how it comes together.
Been away for a while. Only way I'm getting by.
Lily found my son. She loves it. You gonna stay out here, or are you gonna come in? You gonna stay outside? Yeah, she wants to stay outside. Lacey, you still helping? What are you trying to tell mommy? It's supper time. Is Lacey trying to tell mommy it's supper time? Can we wait a little bit longer?
Heart on each side, only reflections apart, but never more. I've been away for a while. Only way I'm getting by was at the time.
picked up these stems from Walmart this year. I think they're beautiful. And I like that they were subdued, not too bright. I feel like they work perfectly with the tones in the table. And so I got the green lighter to kind of lighten it up a little bit. And then these, and then I also picked up, they only had one stem of the eucalyptus, so I got one pack of that. But I think in here, tried the eucalyptus, but I think that makes it a little too dark. Maybe I'll be able to make it work, but for right now, I'm thinking it's a little too dark. I think I need to go with the lighter ones because it gets the drapes and the dark painting. It's just not popping the way that I would like it to pop. However, I didn't want something that was gonna be too bright right here, but I do want it to stand out. I have leaves, but I don't know where they are right now. I haven't come across them in any of the boxes that I've opened. So we're gonna go with this for now. Plus, I just like the look of this for right now more than leaves. That would be kind of bright because I think the leaves that I have, most of them are pretty bright. So I really do like these stems. So I'm gonna play around with this. I'll probably cut them apart because they're in bundles right now. And I'm gonna get this going and see what I come up with. And once I get that done, I think it'll help me figure out what I wanna do with the table. And maybe what I do on the table will help this maybe stand out a little bit more. I don't know, we'll see. But then I also know what I have for my vases in the back. My floor vases, I think is brighter. So maybe I do need something brighter right here. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. And this is going to be a work in progress. Nothing that I do today is necessarily set in stone. I'm just beginning the process of all the decorating. So like I said, everything I'm doing is still kind of in the playing around mode. And a lot of times I end up keeping it and then sometimes I end up changing it. So we'll see what happens. I separated my bundles so they're individual stems. And then I've also been playing around with them so that like I just fluff them and bend them a little bit. So that way I feel like it makes it look more natural. And I feel like you don't end up needing quite as many necessarily when you do that. And you can kind of place it where you want it in the vase. So I think I'm liking it better since I've done that. I've only used a couple stems of the green and the rest I've used in these pinky, kind of rusty and yellow hues. So I really do like how that's turned out. It is subdued, so I will see if I end up keeping it. But for now, I like it. I like the wispiness of it instead of having like leaves that are heavy. I think this kind of lightens it up a little bit, even though the tones are kind of muted. Over the summer, I've been using fresh eucalyptus in this hurricane vase, and I have loved it. And it's been taller than these. It's really looked nice on the table. I ended up deciding I didn't want to do fresh right now. So I picked up these dried eucalyptus stems from West Elm the other day, and I thought maybe they would work in the vase, but they're definitely too short for what I want. So I want more height right here, and I needed to spread out more and stuff. So I think that I'm going to work on a different arrangement. I want it to feel a little more light than this too, because this is pretty dark. So even though I like the darkness, the color of the eucalyptus, I do want to lighten the whole thing up a little bit. I have some picks that I found the other day. So I also think I'm going to use some of these green stems, which are some of the ones that I used in this arrangement back here, but I don't want those two to mimic each other too much. I just want to use this for like the whimsy and the height in it, but I'm going to add some more things to give it some color. So I did pick up, or not pick up, I found some of my other picks. So in this bag, I have this pick right here, which I think would be really pretty. I like how it has the white and it would bring in some lightness from that. I may try some of these thistles that I have, and then in here there's another one. Let me find it. So I have this one, which will bring in some of the brighter colors from the table. So I'm not sure if I'll use this one or not, or if I'll use this one, or maybe a combination. I'm not really sure yet, but I want to see how all of these picks work. But I do like the mix of the eucalyptus with these picks, but of course I need to pretty it up some. It's not very pretty. I just dumped all the eucalyptus in there and just played with it a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, because that'll give it a little bit of height, and then I can add some of the other picks in and bring more color to this.
Yeah, I can read the signs. You need to get away. It's time we make a change. Oh, you know you'll always have me. Baby, I will always stay with you. So put your trust in me. We'll work it out, you'll see. If we get in a car and drive someplace far, yeah, we could go for a ride. The two of us, we don't have to stop. Baby, let's go for a ride. You and I, let us run away. We can go where we want. I'll have your back if you'll have mine. You and I wanna leave everything behind. If you wanted to, promise you we will be alright if it's you.
Here's what I ended up with for the centerpiece for right now. I love my iridescent pumpkins. I feel like it ties in all of the colors that I'm using in the plates, and so I like those. And then I have the green and the blue pumpkins. Just put a few on the ends. I did like these because they bring a little texture in. So I'm gonna add the place settings tomorrow, but for now, I think I'm done. It's starting to get dark outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here for tonight. I do need to get the candle for this hurricane, but here's what it looks like so far. And I think it's coming together really nicely.
So let me put a smile upon your face. Baby, make your worries go away. So put your trust in me. We'll work it out, we'll see. If we get in a car and drive someplace far, yeah, we could go for a ride. You and I, let us run away. We can go where we want. I'll have your back if you'll have mine. You and I wanna leave everything behind. If you wanted to, promise you we will be alright if it's you and I. You and I, let us run away. We can go where we want. I'll have your back if you'll have mine. You and
I knew that I had these stems from my floor vases, but I didn't remember how bright they were. I thought they were brighter than this, but I think this tone works perfectly with my table and everything else that I have going on. So I do like it. And I went ahead and I spread this one, but I left this one a little tighter because I wanted to see the difference on how I like it. And I definitely think this looks more natural, and I like it better, look like spread out a little bit. So I'm gonna end up doing the same thing over here. Although I don't have a lot of space here, so I was thinking maybe the tighter bunches would look better, but I just think that looks so much more natural. So I'm gonna go ahead and spread this one apart and try to make it look more like that one. So here are the two floor vases. I think they turned out really well. I like it When they're spread a little more, it gives it a little more whimsy. And like I said, I think it looks a little more realistic. I think the floor vases would look really good if I could lift them up some off of the floor. If I had a pedestal or something where it would bring it up onto the wall, I think that would look so pretty. It would make it look more like a tree. Unfortunately, I have dogs, so I'm not going to be able to do that, because they run around and play and they would knock it down. I do think these stems brought in exactly the color that I was needing back here. It pulls with everything else, and I think it just works perfectly. I love this pick because I think it has a lot of texture. I have several of these, so I might use some more in different places around, but I thought it would be pretty in this vase to give it a little bit of height and just to add some texture into this space. And then I have this other pick that I just love the color of the leaves. I'm not a big fan of the sunflower, so I'm gonna try to hide kind of as much as I can the sunflower in it, but I like the little pumpkin and I like the color of the leaves and everything else about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that in the front and just make a little arrangement with just these two picks.
Nervous. I think I might be hooked on you.
I have this amber vase and I've been collecting some acorns from the yard. We have hundreds or thousands of acorns falling in the yard. It's one of those years where they say there's tons of them falling. And then I have this black candle, which I think will pick up all of these tones and the painting nicely. So I'm just gonna turn it so all you see is the black. And see what that looks like in here.
It seems like you like me too. We can take it slow, make sure we do this right. Canceled all my plans to be.
I took a little break from decorating to go to a concert. Our neighborhood has an amphitheater, and every summer they do a summer series that ends right at the end of summer. So the end of September, we have the last concert. And so it happened to be this Saturday night when I was doing my decorating during the day. I ended up going with some friends that night because Whitney was out of town, and we had the best time. It was a band that played Billy Joel and Elton John songs, and it was just a lot of fun. That is the type of thing that we've really been enjoying doing in our neighborhood. There's always activities like this. When they got to the Elton John part of the concert, it was very lively, and at one point he came in the audience. It was so much fun. He came right up to where we were and he was having people sing with him. A great way to end the summer concert series. It's been a few days and I've ended up making some changes to the table, so I wanted to show you. One of the main things that I ended up doing was changing the flower arrangement that was on the centerpiece. I just felt like the one that I created for the centerpiece was competing too much with the vases behind me back here, and then also with the arrangement on the buffet. So I just switched it out with these flowers that I had picked up from Pottery Barn. I got them on sale, so it was a really good deal for these flowers. And I like the option of using these flowers because then it gives me the option to also switch it out easily with fresh flowers. And I can just keep the vase rotating between fresh and this if I want to. It's a lot harder to get fresh flowers here than it was anywhere else that we've ever lived. We're not that close to a Trader Joe's or anything, and the grocery store flowers here, from my opinion, seem to be a little bit lacking. But if I do find some flowers, I will be able to switch them out pretty easily. I ended up deciding to switch the other arrangement to the console at the front door, and I think it is so beautiful right there. I had the long dish there with some pumpkins in it and some raffia and stuff, but I like this so much better. I think it just looks more elevated, and I like just the way that it kind of cleaned off the surface and it looks a little less busy on the top. I'm still trying to decide if I want to keep everything that I have on the bottom or if I want to just kind of take that off and leave the bottom plain, because I feel like I've got a lot going on right now. So I'm going to figure that out. And then if I do decide to keep it, I need to end up putting some thistle in the other greenery because I do like the greenery, but I like it with the thistle in it for this time of year. Here's a look at the table. The other thing that I've done is added these leaves. So these are all leaves that I have scavenged from the yard, and I just threw them around the table, and I really like how it kind of pulled everything together. I made sure when I was looking for leaves from the yard that I picked up different colored leaves. I just think it makes it look better that way. So I've got them going all the way along the table. And then these are the flowers that I picked up at Pottery Barn. And I think it just really pulls the table together. It doesn't compete with what I have going on in the back or what I have going on over there. I think it complements both of those arrangements nicely, where the other, it was like 3 that were spraying out, and so I think this just works a lot better. Other thing I want to do is scavenge some more acorns. I've actually been collecting some that I want to put in the bottom of the vase. I think that'll look really good, and it'll just kind of make it look complete. But I love this lantern that I put here. I love it because I can use it as a vase, which I do all the time, or the lantern. It looks great either way. And I could even switch it out and just make it a lantern if I wanted to. But I think the color and texture of it works beautifully with the table. Here's a better look at what I have going on over here. I love this arrangement on this table. And one little trick that I did with my candles, I don't know if you notice, but this lid was actually for this candle, but I thought it made it a little too dark, and then this one was just light. So by mixing them, it helped even out the tones across because the books are different colors and everything. But I just love how this looks, and it's one of the first things you see when you walk in the door. So the only thing, like I said, left to do is put some thistle down here, unless I decide to take that off altogether. And here's the silverware. I decided not to put the silverware on the table for now, but I did want to show you what it looks like. And I think at some point I'll come back and put the napkins and the silverware. But for now, I just kind of like the table as it is because I thought it was getting a little bit busy. But the silverware, I think, is just the perfect tone for the table. So I really like how that works. And I'm looking forward to, at some point, putting the whole table together. If we have some company over, I think it'll just be beautiful with all the napkins and the silverware.
Summer is ended, the leaves are turning brown. Red and yellow, soon they'll be falling down. Now, I'm not ready, not just yet.
I am enjoying decorating for fall so much, you have no idea. And we've already started fall activities around here, so I'm having a lot of fun with that. It's part of the reason it's taken me so long to get this video done, between editing and more decorating and trying to get it all figured out. It's taken me a while to get it finished, but I hope you have enjoyed this video, and there will be more to come. I still have to finish the living room and the breakfast area and maybe a little bit in the kitchen, the front porch. I know I'm doing those areas, and I've done a little bit in the bedroom, not much, so I'll show you that at some point too. So I hope you will join me for more fall decorating videos, and then I can't wait. After fall, we're gonna have Christmas, so it's gonna be lots more decorating. I hope you will stay with me for all of that. And I just am so happy to be back. It feels great to be back. I'm so happy you're here with me. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you more than you know. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Now.